Today we're going to learn another 10 common idioms, phrases, and sentences that native English speakers use every single day. These expressions are super useful, and I promise by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what these expressions mean and how to use them naturally in your own conversations. Here's how you can get the most out of this video. First, listen while reading the subtitles. This will help you catch every word and follow along more easily. Then, play the video again and try to repeat the sentences out loud, but this time without reading the subtitles. This will really help you improve your pronunciation, listening, and speaking skills. Don't just listen. Pause, reflect, and take notes. That way, you can remember and review them later. This is a great way to boost your listening, reading, and speaking, all at the same time. This lesson is a fun and simple way to improve your English step by step. Before we dive in, if you're finding this helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe. It helps a ton, and I really appreciate your support. All right, let's get started with our first expression. Number 1, totally out of line. This idiom is something we say when someone's behavior is completely unacceptable or inappropriate. It means they've crossed a boundary or done something that's just not okay. We use this when someone has really messed up or said something they shouldn't have. Let me tell you a story about this one. Last week, I was at a coffee shop, and there was this guy who started yelling at the barista because his coffee took 5 minutes to make. He was calling her names and being really rude. The manager came over and said, "Sir, your behavior is totally out of line. I'm going to have to ask you to leave." The guy was being completely inappropriate, and the manager was right to call him out. For example, if your friend makes a mean joke about your appearance in front of everyone, you might say, "That comment was totally out of line." Here's another one. If someone at work takes credit for your project, your boss might say, "What you did was totally out of line." People often say this when someone has really crossed the line with their actions or words. Have you ever had to tell someone they were out of line? Let me know in the comments. Number 2, all for nothing. This idiom means that all your effort, time, or work was wasted because you didn't get the result you wanted. It's that frustrating feeling when you put in a lot of energy, but it didn't lead to anything good. I remember when I was in college, I studied for 2 weeks straight for this really important exam. I barely slept. I didn't hang out with friends. I just studied all day and all night. But when I got to the exam, I realized I had been studying the wrong material the whole time. I failed the test, and all that hard work felt like it was all for nothing. For example, you might say, "I worked overtime every day this month, but I didn't get the promotion. It was all for nothing." You might hear something like, "We planned this outdoor party for weeks, but it rained all day. All that planning was for nothing." Let's take this one. "I waited in line for 3 hours to buy concert tickets, but they sold out right before my turn. It was all for nothing." This is such a common feeling, right? Have you ever felt like your efforts were all for nothing? Number 3. This too shall pass. This proverb is actually a very old proverb that people use to comfort themselves or others during difficult times. It means that whatever bad situation you're going through right now won't last forever. Good times and bad times both come and go. My grandmother used to say this to me all the time when I was going through tough periods in my life. When I was having a really hard time in high school with some friendship drama, she would always remind me, "This too shall pass, sweetheart." And she was right. Those problems that felt so huge at the time don't even matter now. For example, if your friend is going through a breakup and feeling really sad, you might say, I know it hurts right now, but this too shall pass. Here's another one. When someone is stressed about a difficult work project, they might tell themselves, "This project is really challenging, but this too shall pass." Imagine this. You're going through a tough financial time, and your mom might remind you, "Don't worry, honey. This too shall pass." This is such a beautiful and comforting expression. Do you have a similar saying in your language? Number 4, a real piece of work. This idiom is used to describe someone who is difficult, annoying, or problematic. It's not a compliment. When we call someone a real piece of work, we mean they're hard to deal with, maybe selfish, or just really challenging to be around. I had a coworker who was definitely a real piece of work. She would never do her share of the work, but she would always take credit when our team did well. She would interrupt people in meetings and act like her ideas were the only good ones. She was always complaining about something. Everyone in the office knew she was a real piece of work, and eventually, she got fired because nobody wanted to work with her anymore. For example, if your neighbor always plays loud music late at night and never cleans up their yard, you might say to your friend, "My neighbor is a real piece of work." You might hear something like, "Did you meet the new manager? He's a real piece of work. He thinks he knows everything." People often say, "My ex-boyfriend was a real piece of work. I'm so glad we broke up." We usually use this idiom when we're venting or complaining about someone. Have you ever met someone who was a real piece of work? Number 5, just a matter of time. This idiom means that something is going to happen eventually, for sure. You're not sure exactly when, but you know it will happen. It's like saying, "It's only a question of when, not if." I have this friend who's been talking about quitting his job for months. He's always complaining about his boss, he hates the work, and he's been updating his resume. I keep telling him, "You know what, it's just a matter of time before you quit that job." And guess what? Last week, he finally gave his 2 weeks' notice. I knew it would happen eventually. For example, if your old car keeps breaking down every week, you might say, "It's just a matter of time before I have to buy a new car." Let's take this one. If someone keeps eating junk food and never exercises, you might think, "It's just a matter of time before they have health problems." Here's another one. The way technology is advancing, it's just a matter of time before robots do most of our jobs. This expression is great for talking about things that seem inevitable. What do you think is just a matter of time in your life? Number 6, we've been through this. This sentence is something we say when we've already discussed a topic before, usually many times, and we're tired of talking about it again. It's like saying, "We've already had this conversation, remember?" This happens a lot between parents and teenagers. I remember when I was 16, I wanted to get my ears pierced, and every few days I would ask my mom about it. Finally, she got frustrated and said, "We've been through this already. I told you that you have to wait until you're 18. She was tired of having the same conversation over and over. For example, if your roommate keeps leaving dirty dishes in the sink and you've talked about it many times, you might say, "We've been through this. You need to clean your dishes." You might hear something like, "Honey, we've been through this. We can't afford a vacation this year." People often say this during arguments. "We've been through this 100 times. I'm not changing my mind." Do you ever feel like you're having the same conversations over and over with someone? That's when you can use this expression. Number 7, I couldn't have done it without you. This sentence is a really sweet way to thank someone and show appreciation. It means that the other person's help was so important that you wouldn't have been able to succeed without them. It's a way of giving someone credit and showing gratitude. When I graduated from college, I said this to my mom during my graduation speech. She had worked 2 jobs to help pay for my education. She helped me with homework when I was struggling, and she always encouraged me when I wanted to give up. When I walked across that stage to get my diploma, I looked at her and mouthed, "I couldn't have done it without you." There were tears in both of our eyes. For example, after finishing a big work project with your colleague, you might say, "Thank you so much for all your help. I couldn't have done it without you." You might hear something like this after someone helps you move to a new apartment. "Seriously, I couldn't have done it without you guys." Let's take this one. If your friend helps you through a difficult breakup, you might tell them, "You were there for me every day. I couldn't have done it without you." This is such a beautiful way to show appreciation. Who in your life deserves to hear this from you? Number 8, I'm on pins and needles. This idiom means you're extremely nervous, anxious, or excited about something that's going to happen. You can't relax because you're waiting for news or results. It's like the feeling of sitting on actual pins and needles, which would be very uncomfortable. I remember when I applied for my dream job a few years ago. After the interview, they said they would call me within a week with their decision. That whole week, I was on pins and needles. I couldn't focus on anything. Every time my phone rang, my heart would start beating fast. I kept checking my email every 5 minutes. I couldn't eat properly or sleep well because I was so nervous and excited about getting the call. For example, if you're waiting to hear back about college applications, you might say, "I'm on pins and needles waiting for the acceptance letters." Here's another one. "My wife is in labor right now, and I'm on pins and needles waiting to meet my baby." Imagine this. "I took my driving test yesterday, and I'm on pins and needles waiting for the results." This idiom perfectly describes that anxious, excited feeling when you're waiting for something really important. When was the last time you were on pins and needles? Number 9, knock it off/cut it out. These two slang phrases mean exactly the same thing. Stop doing that annoying thing right now. They're both ways to tell someone to quit their behavior because it's bothering you. We use these when we're getting irritated or frustrated. I use these slang phrases all the time with my little nephew. When he visits, he loves to poke me, make silly faces, or repeat everything I say just to annoy me. After a few minutes of this, I'll say, "Okay, knock it off," or "Cut it out, buddy." He usually giggles and stops for a little while. These phrases are firm but not mean, so they're perfect for situations like this. For example, if your coworker keeps tapping their pen during a meeting and it's driving you crazy, you might whisper, "Could you please knock it off with the pen?" You might hear something like, "Kids, cut it out. Stop fighting in the back seat." People often say this when someone is teasing them. "Very funny, but knock it off now." These are super useful slang phrases for everyday situations. Have you ever wanted to tell someone to knock it off? Number 10, you're getting on my nerves. This idiom means that someone is really annoying you or making you feel irritated. When someone gets on your nerves, they're doing something that bothers you so much that you're starting to feel stressed or angry about it. Last month, I had a roommate who would always leave the TV on really loud late at night. At first, I tried to ignore it, but after 2 weeks of not sleeping well, I finally had to talk to her. I said, "Look, I don't want to be mean, but you're really getting on my nerves with the loud TV at night. Could you please use headphones?" She didn't realize how loud it was, and she was happy to change her habit. For example, if your friend keeps interrupting you while you're trying to tell a story, you might say, "You're getting on my nerves. Let me finish talking." Let's take this one. If someone at work keeps asking you the same questions over and over, you might think, this person is really getting on my nerves. Here's another one. My neighbor's dog barks all night long. It's really getting on my nerves. This is a polite way to express that you're feeling annoyed. It's more gentle than saying, you're annoying me. When was the last time someone got on your nerves? Let's recap what we learned today. We covered 10 super useful expressions that native English speakers use all the time. We learned that totally out of line means someone's behavior is unacceptable. All for nothing means your efforts were wasted, and this too shall pass is a comforting reminder that difficult times don't last forever. We talked about calling someone a real piece of work. When they're difficult to deal with, saying something is just a matter of time when it's inevitable, and using "we've been through this" when you've already discussed something many times. We also learned the beautiful expression, "I couldn't have done it without you," for showing deep appreciation. "I'm on pins and needles" for describing nervous excitement, and both "knock it off" and "cut it out" for telling someone to stop annoying behavior. Finally, we learned that "you're getting on my nerves" is a polite way to say someone is bothering you. These expressions will make your English sound so much more natural and native-like. Practice using them in your daily conversations, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's how we learn. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more English lessons. Come back tomorrow because I'll be teaching you 10 more useful idioms, phrases, and sentences that will take your English to the next level. Which of these 10 expressions was your favorite today? Let me know in the comments below. Take care and keep practicing your English. You're doing amazing, and I'm so proud of your progress. See you in the next video.